Procedure or partnership, the loyalty paradox, and the importance of relationship quality. Welcome. I am Professor Dr. Maya Warden, or Professor NWW. I am a researcher specializing in CRM, loyalty strategies, and AI-enabled customer experiences. In this podcast, we explore strategic CRM decisions not as abstract theories, but as lived experiences with very real economic and relational consequences. Loyalty programs are a multi-billion-dollar industry. Airlines, retailers, and service firms invest enormous resources in points, status levels, and digital platforms. But the true nature of a loyalty program is not revealed when everything works smoothly. It is revealed when something goes wrong. And that is what happened to me recently, and I will explain from the academic side, based on my research, what went wrong and how it could have been managed better. What if I told you that the best way to keep a loyal customer is sometimes to bend the rules? It sounds counterintuitive, almost heretical, in a world dominated by procedures, automation, and adherence to rules. Loyalty programs are built on rules, thresholds, tiers, expiration dates, and algorithms. Consistency is supposed to guarantee fairness. Automation is supposed to ensure efficiency. And yet, decades of research and one very small real-world incident tell a very different story. Let me tell you the story of the incident that triggered this reflection, a banal incident that happens to millions of other travelers. The loyalty program is presented under a fictional name, Flying Azure. As a long-term loyal customer holding gold status, I missed retaining my status by just 14 experience points in some days. 14 points, due to a simple calendar-related misunderstanding. A few days after the downgrade, I made what seemed like a reasonable request. Sorry, I apologize for being 2 days too late. Can I simply use my air miles? I already have to buy the missing experience points, even if I am 2 days too late in the status maintenance process. What followed were several flat, standardized responses. No discussion, no escalation, no context. Flat, non-sincere apologies. The automatized procedure completely steamrolled the long-term relationship between the airline and me. And here is the twist. Having studied loyalty and service recovery programs for more than 25 years, this service incident instantly became a real-world bad practice case study, one I now teach to marketing students across Europe and Asia. Because this case is not about lost perks like free tickets or baggage, it is about the emotional shock of demotion. Experimental psychology explains this very well. According to prospect theory developed by Nobel Prize winners Kahneman and Tversky, losses hurt far more than gains please. Losing a status you believe you have earned feels like rejection. It sends a clear and violent signal: you are no longer valued. This incident highlights a fundamental strategic issue in managing premium customer relationships. But what really matters, procedure or relationship? The core message coming from CRM research for loyalty managers is simple, powerful, and uncomfortable. Rules and automation are necessary. They ensure fairness and scalability. But procedures should never override relationships. When service incidents are handled purely procedurally, at the expense of relational judgment, especially in marginal cases, they undermine trust, engagement, and long-term loyalty, often silently through churn, sometimes through negative word of mouth. So here is the million-dollar question for any loyalty manager. Which strategy actually gets customers to pay to keep their status? Our research, published in academic top journals, gives a crystal clear answer. When customers receive a cold, automated reminder for the downgrade, the classic information strategy, only a limited share stays loyal. By contrast, when customers receive a flexible, proactive extension, signaling recognition rather than threat, the loyalty performance lift is real. A plus 110% increase in willingness to pay. A plus 20% increase in loyalty. A plus 10% increase in trust. A 20% decrease in negative word of mouth. Thus, recognition prevents reputational damage. Most negative word of mouth is not caused by the rule itself, but by the feeling of being treated like a number rather than a valued customer. Detailed results can be found in our article, Threatening the Customer: Communication Strategies to Avoid the Negative Impacts of Status Demotion in Hierarchical Loyalty Programs. And here is the most counterintuitive finding. Even customers who do stay loyal under pressure suffer a trust collapse. They comply, but they resent it. I call this the dual punishment trap. Customers stay behaviorally loyal for inertia, but trust and attitudinal loyalty decline. Negative word of mouth increases. The transaction is saved, but the relationship is damaged. You win a short-term sale, but you lose the customer in the long term. And now, the bomb blasts. Here is a very rough estimation of the financial ROI. A change in communication strategy, costing probably less than 200 KLE in CRM rule adjustments, message redesign, and light AI chatbot tuning, can unlock nearly $50 million in annual value for a major airline. How? Through higher requalification flights, loyalty, trust, upgrades, and ancillary revenues, increased willingness to pay, less negative and more positive word of mouth, lower complaint handling costs, and the protection of long-term customer lifetime value. A service incident is not a cost, it is an opportunity. When service recovery is handled well, loyalty does not just recover, it increases. 70% of customers satisfied with recovery become more loyal. 96% dissatisfied customers become disloyal and spread negative word of mouth. The conclusion is unequivocal. Service recovery is not about compensation. For loyal customers, relational efforts, recognition, personal attention, respect, empathy matter far more than money to rebuild the relationship. And here is the final takeaway. I absolutely love this idea. In French, we use the concept du pépin à la pépite, which is a little glitch or a seed of a problem into a little nugget of gold. A minimal service incident with a gesture of flexibility delivers measurable gains across all key loyalty metrics at virtually no additional cost. Those 14 experience points in the Flying Azure program, they were small stones dropped into a pond. By saying no procedurally without relational value, the airline kept it a problem and transformed it into a heavy millstone around their neck. By saying yes, they could have turned it into a gold nugget through increased loyalty. So here is the Pépite playbook. 1. Identify loyal customers about to miss the mark. 2. Don't just remind, extend the deadline reasonably with a clear communication. 3. Frame it as recognition. It is exceptional, but we do that as we value you. 4. Finally, use the right KPIs. Yet decades of academic research show that satisfaction and net promoter scores are weak predictors of true loyalty. What truly matters is trust and customer well-being, how customers emotionally and cognitively experience the relationship. Therefore, I advise measuring trust, well-being, and engagement, not just NPS. And that leaves us with one final question. When a valuable customer is right on the edge, is your system designed to enforce the rulebook or to build a human relationship? Because that difference may decide whether you keep a customer for one more year or create a fan or loyal customer for life. Thank you very much for listening, and stay tuned to my YouTube channel, AI-based Smart Ecosystems and DipU, for more insights on relationship marketing and technology-enabled customer experiences grounded in research and real-world cases.